The Community Behavioral Health Liaison, CBHL, is developed and designed to address the special challenges to law enforcement officers in Tri-County Southern Maryland posed by persons with mental illness, both acute and chronic, and to better serve the community. The role of CBHL is to support law enforcement officers in preventing unnecessary arrests and hospitalizations of citizens in mental health crisis. The CBHL triages at-risk citizens identified by law enforcement and the community as needing mental health assistance. The CBHL assists in managing the immediate crisis by doing safety planning with the individual, screens identified clients for behavioral health needs, works to facilitate access to behavioral health resources for linked and unlinked clients, schedules a crisis appointment, and provides transportation to that first appointment. The CBHL follows up with referred individuals to ensure initial crisis was abated, to implement additional measures as clinically deemed necessary.
While crisis presents an obstacle, trauma, or threat, it is also an opportunity for either growth or decline by connecting to community mental health resources, reducing risk and frequency of police contact, improving public safety, and utilizing resources more efficiently. Law enforcement is often the first contact with persons in crisis. The objective here is to minimize time with law enforcement and maximize time with mental health professionals. Programs should mirror community needs. The basic goals are to improve public safety, increase treatment outcomes for chronic offenders through the coordination of law enforcement, criminal justice, and supportive housing and treatment resources, to better prepare officers to handle crises involving persons with mental illness, to lower incidents of injury to officers and others, and have fewer repeat calls.
911, where's your emergency?
Communication officers are likely the first point of contact in calls involving mental health emergencies. The effectiveness of law enforcement response to mental health emergencies depends on a number of factors, including the quality of information received from the dispatch prior to responding. Emergency dispatchers are a critical link in relaying needed information in a behavioral crisis event, as they are tasked with collecting the much-needed information to refer the citizen to CBHL. Every law enforcement officer will have a brochure that describes the referral process. In it, you will find some examples of urgent and non-urgent mental health concerns, and when to refer a mental health case to the Community Behavioral Health Liaison, referred to as the CBHL. When an individual is in an imminent risk situation, and he or she is a danger to themselves or others, the officer will proceed as normal, taking the individual to the emergency room for psychiatric evaluation. This is known as an emergency petition, or EP. The law enforcement officer notifies dispatch to flag the person in crisis as a mental health case for the liaison. Making the decision to take the individual to the emergency room may result in hospitalization or a judgment by medical personnel that the individual is not in immediate danger. The disposition by the ER will not be known by the officer making the referral. However, the CBHL will still follow up with referrals to supportive services either immediately or upon the individual's discharge from the hospital. When there is no apparent suicidal or homicidal state, but the individuals appear to be in a mental health crisis or about to be in crisis, the law enforcement officer shall flag the individual as a mental health case to dispatch as urgent. This is an individual with whom you've had 2 or more calls that you believe needs help and may also have a history of non-compliance, causing enough concern to you. Flag this person as a mental health case to dispatch as non-urgent. To sum up, the decision to request support from the CBHL remains with the law enforcement officer at the scene. Notify communications of the request for the liaison. In non-emergency situations, the officer shall notify the individual and the family of the availability of the community behavioral health service and assess their willingness to receive team services before requesting the liaison to respond.
This brochure contains relatable information for the citizen in mental health crisis and contains a brief overview of emergency services, frequently asked questions for emergency petitions, behavioral health services, insurance assistance, advocacy, education and support information, and additional online resources for support. The citizen brochure is used to inform the individual that a referral is being made. The officer can assure the individual that the CBHL will be in touch with them shortly.
The information needed to refer a citizen to the CBHL includes case or call number, time of call, responding officer, the citizen's last name, first name, age, gender, address, county of residence, phone number, as well as an alternate emergency contact, their relationship, and telephone number. The chief reason for referral to the CBHL is important. Include as much relevant information as you think may be important. Lastly, is this referral urgent or non-urgent? The officer flags the mental health individual to dispatch. Dispatch notifies CBHL via encrypted email with the name, address, phone number, and emergency contact. The CBHL will provide care coordination to referred citizens, site visit, risk assessment, safety planning, connection to appropriate resources, transportation to the first appointment. The end goal for the CBHL is in providing the person in crisis with a warm handoff to a behavioral health program and in lowering repeat police contacts.
How do we know when it's working? Data collection can help measure impact and to help identify whether the CBHL program is achieving its objectives to be effective in improving treatment outcomes for those suffering from a serious mental illness and in reducing the frequency of repeat calls to 911 emergency services.
The CBHL will provide the referring law enforcement officer with outcome information and care plans for the identified individual. The CBHL will monitor, collect data, and share outcomes for efficiency, improvement, and enhancement of the program.